I'm painting on oil-primed linen canvas, and as you can see, I've already sketched out a rough outline of the figure with a polychromos pencil, and now I'm blocking in the colors. I'm not completely sure yet how I want the face to be lit, but I'm starting out with a shadow cut across the forehead, and as you'll see later, I will change my mind and modify that to just like a splash across her eyes. But for the time being, I'm blocking in the tones. Obviously, it's on the cooler side of the spectrum. I wanted her to be icy and carnivorous. I wasn't even sure I was going to give her eyebrows or not. I never used to paint eyebrows, ever. I just think they sometimes make the face give too much of the story away and just add too much of a likeness, and I try to avoid that. When I'm painting a face, I think I intuitively try to keep a few secrets hidden there. Actually, you'll see the face go through quite a lot of changes as I figure out the features. For the hair, I used this screenshot of Erin Parsons for a rough reference photo. She's a fantastic makeup artist. Obviously, that photo she's in a brightly lit room, and I needed to bring the highlights all the way down for my street scene and do it all in much cooler tones. Mapping out the figure would probably be a lot easier if I did a preliminary sketch, but I just never seemed to have the patience for drawing out the whole thing and then painting it. There's something about improvising on the canvas for me that keeps it immediate and interesting. As long as I have a strong sense of the figure, I'm usually off to a good start. She definitely seemed like she'd be smoking a Sobrani Black Russian cigarette. As far as feeling my way through this, trying to get the skin tones, I realized she wanted to be almost glacial. So the warmer tone I fleshed out in the beginning had to go basically just full frost, and the only warm tones in the skin that I ended up introducing were just very subtle transparent shades around the eyes. I was hoping the reds and rust colors in the tie would really enjoy bouncing off those cool tones. I'm never sure that what's in my head is going to work, but so far so good. Those colors will be echoed in the taillights behind her. Now, in real life, obviously, that match would be warm and her hand would be illuminated with glowy amber colors, but she's got to stay Arctic for this to work, so I gave the match a blue flame. I want to try and keep the street scene behind her relatively uncluttered because I know I'll want to weave in a trail of smoke from her cigarette. Here, I'm adding highlights to the silk tie, trying to really bump up those accent colors, blend, 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 just to get that silk looking almost liquefied. Now I'm going in on the street scene behind her. I know it's unusual for a painter to render bokeh lights since they are a function of photography, but I like using them because a foundational influence on my work has always been cinema, and I really like adding filmic effects to traditional painting techniques. Now, this is the third and final layer. I'm just adding definition to the street and trying to get the lights behind her to glow. As it turns out, she really wanted some black and bloody nail polish, so I do that, and then I'm adding a few muted warm tones to the fingers because they need a little bit more dimension, and now I can finally light her cigarette.